Birmingham, the 21st of November 1974. 2 explosions went off in city centre pubs and 21 people were killed. At about the same time, 5 Irishmen were travelling on a train from Birmingham to Belfast to attend the funeral of James McQuaid. He was killed in Coventry when a bomb he was planting went off prematurely. 5 of the men were arrested at Heysham, a 6th in Birmingham. The following year they were tried and convicted of the Birmingham bombings. No appeal was allowed and the men were given indefinite life sentences. One of them, John Walker, has now been in prison for 11 years, serving his life sentence. John Walker is from Derry. His wife Teresa and the families of the other 5 men claim that they are innocent. She travels 350 miles to visit her husband in a remote Warwickshire prison. The families say that none of the 6 were active Republicans or had any paramilitary background.
There's not one who would really hurt anybody, you know. Because like there was, nearly 30 children left between them. Without 6 fathers, like.
And I would love to see some kind of new investigation into that whole case, because I do think that it is a case that is deserving of considerable scrutiny.
Teresa Murray and the other families have been assisted in their lonely campaign to have the men released by 2 northern priests, Father Dennis Fall and Father Raymond Murray. In 1979, Father Murray made contact with a US Congressman, Hamilton Fish, who took an active interest in the prisoner's case, an interest which caused controversy in November last year when a Sunday newspaper reported that the Irish ambassador in Washington in 1979, Sean Donlan, had sent Congressman Fish copies of newspaper articles. The articles were critical of those involved in the campaign. Up to November last year, it was not the appeals to politicians that assisted the families in their attempt to have the matter raised, but a British documentary programme produced by the World in Action team. The convictions were based on 2 key elements. One, that forensic tests showed the presence of nitroglycerine, a chemical used in bombs, on the men's fingers. And 2, that they had signed confessions admitting to the bombings. On the first point, World in Action showed, by carrying out their own research, that the forensic test used to detect nitroglycerine responds to many common chemical substances. They showed that the forensic test would react positively when tested on the plastic coating of playing cards and cigarettes. 5 of the men convicted of the bombings were playing cards on the train on the night they were arrested. They also smoked. The documentary also supported the men's claim that they had been beaten and forced to make false confessions.
Speaking as a layman, there are grave doubts about their guilt, and the recent evidence produced, gives great support to that. But could I also say that if you look at the general situation in Britain at the moment, and I'd like just to quote one quick sentence from a report put out by the GLC in a document on the Irish...
The Greater London Council.
Greater London Council, and this is an objective view, and this is what they say. There is growing concern that negative racial stereotyping of the Irish has resulted in many miscarriages of justice involving Irish prisoners especially, but not exclusively, in cases of alleged drunken behaviour, crimes of violence and disorderly behaviour. Now that is a view expressed by an objective body on the danger of the miscarriage of justice with regard to the Irish because of the present attitude towards them there.
3 days after the documentary was shown, the British Home Secretary Douglas Hurd ordered an investigation into the case. He met SDLP leader John Hume in the Home Office to discuss the new evidence. The programme also prompted Foreign Affairs Minister Peter Barry to make representations to the Home Office through the Irish Embassy staff. Last Friday, a member of the Embassy staff was informed by the Home Office that a decision on the Birmingham 6 case is imminent.